What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Most Wanted. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. Those of you who are Canadians might have heard of Victor Malarick. I'm not from the Great White North, so the fact that Victor is famous is news to me. I mean, really, the guy had a movie back in 1989 made about him based on his book, and he was portrayed by Elias Koteas. And throughout his career, Victor is always hardcore about speaking truth to power. So this particular new movie depicts one of Victor's many past crusades, which is when he helped a wrongfully convicted Canadian that's been imprisoned overseas. While Most Wanted, for the most part, is an effective thriller, the film is not always consistently gripping. The two-timeline story format could cause favoritism among the audiences, as not all of the narrative could maintain its suspense, while other aspects of it get hindered by its own over-dramatization. Director Daniel Roby, however, does manage to tackle the character's psychological terror, especially during the prison scenes, and many of those moments are shot by a cinematography that's not afraid to go down and dirty. Written and directed by Daniel Roby, Most Wanted is based on the true story of an investigative journalist named Victor Malarick, played by Josh Hartnett, who unravels a twisted case of entrapment wherein a guy from the wrong side of the tracks, Daniel Leger, played by Antoine Olivier Pillon, is forced into a dangerous drug deal against his will and is sentenced to 100 years in a Thai prison. As Daniel endures torture and abuse, the journalist must track down the shady undercover cops benefiting off the conspiracy while also fighting for Daniel's freedom. The story is divided into two parts essentially, which play a factor in the film's unnecessarily long runtime. One part focuses on the events leading up to Daniel's misfortune in Thailand, and the other part is when Daniel has already been in prison for quite a while, where he meets Victor, who then makes it his mission to have Daniel be released. This movie is extremely Canadian, and I don't mean that negatively. I mean, my goodness, even the closing credit has to fully explain in overdrawn specifics about how they altered many of the details. It's very apologetic about it. Other movies can't be bothered to do that. And also, it's not that the characters say a or a boot a lot, but that there's a sense that this project really and badly wants to emulate Hollywood styles in terms of bureaucracy's confrontations and even the car chases, but emulation is all that it ever is. That's not a criticism, by the way, and you gotta give the film credit for wanting to be more. But as I implied earlier, the Thai prison scenes are pretty fearless. If only the movie had shown more of that phase of Daniel's journey and made the other stuff be more like quick flashbacks. Sure, Josh Hartnett may be the guy on the poster since he's the one with the biggest name, but I would argue that the real star of this film is actually Antoine Olivier Pillon, the young man who plays Daniel. There's something about the way Antoine carries himself that's intense and vulnerable and peculiar. He's willing to go the extra mile. There's a touch of brilliance in his performance here. It kind of reminds you of Steve McQueen in Papillon. Another pleasant surprise is Jim Gaffigan, who plays a role that is antithetical to everything that he's done right up to this point, and he knocks it out of the park. I think the world could never have enough stories about courage in the midst of adversity, stories about pursuing what is right no matter the cost, and that is what movies like Most Wanted ultimately caters to.